Yeah. Good morning. I want to give a shout out to the Podcast Discovery Center for sending me out a awesome silicone wristband. Thanks, Scott. Thanks, Anthony. Today I want to talk about how you need rules so you can bend them and so that you can break them. And when it comes to business, it's really, really important to the process of whatever processes that you're creating to be able to bend the rules and to break the rules. Now, there's always different times in which you should do both, or either, or neither. What I would suggest is that, well, first off, you gotta have rules. That's rule number one. Gotta have rules. It's so that so everybody in your organization knows, like, what's the expectations? Can I do X, Y, and Z, or can I only do X and Y? And so that when people push those rules and push those boundaries, you'd be like, nah, it doesn't work that way. Like, we're set so that everybody's clear on what the expectation is and what the rules are. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't bend them and you can't break them. In fact, I encourage you to bend and break them where necessary, and when necessary. It's just up to you to decide when that's the case. The problem you'll run into is if you're always bending and breaking the rules, then maybe the rules aren't really the rules, and you need to readjust and evaluate what your rule set is in your business. So it doesn't just go for employees and for managers and all that. It can also go for customer relations, right? So, like, a good example is, a lot of people like to say, well, that's just policy. Like, all right, well, I guess most places just don't want to bend the rule, bend policy or break policy. And it's really like a scapegoat for saying, hey, there's somebody above me that just won't allow me to do this one-time thing for this customer who's in a situation that the policy does not really apply to. So an example of that, like for my conference, MapCon, Mid-Atlantic Podcast Conference, go check it out. Somebody, I've had people reach out to me, like, right around the time in which the price was going to be going up, and I'm like, and they ask me, they say, okay, is it okay if I get back to you on whether or not I can sign up in a few days? Now, the price is going up. Anybody that sees the price after it's gone up is not going to get such a break, right? Even if they have never reached out to me before or anything like that. In the case of should I bend the rules, and should I let that person get the cheaper price because they found it before the price went up? Should I do that? In most cases, I would say yes. Once the price has gone up, like, that's kind of it. Unless they've reached out and asked for a very specific extension, and I've offered extensions to people before. And the main reason, well, specifically with MapCon, is because I don't want people to necessarily pay a higher price. I just want people to commit. That's the whole thing about having events, is you want people to commit, and raising the price seems to be the only real, like, this is why I'm going to commit. Or you have such a high price that you offer, like, such a deep discount for a short amount of time that they want to jump on it. And we talked about pricing yesterday. You should go check out Pricing Matters. because it does. And I'm going to talk more about pricing from the business standpoint probably in a future episode. But I think that, you know, if to create on the customer side of things, the client side of things, to create a good relationship, to create, you know, to stand by what you mean. And in my case, it means I want people to come. I'm not worried. I just want them to commit and come, right? That's my two goals. Have them commit, have them come. If somebody's reaching out to me with the intention to sign up and go and come, then that's awesome. I'm happy for that. Oh, my nose. Ugh, excuse me. Yeah, so in that case, I break the rules of the date. Now, the other reason that I would break it is because it's not really an arbitrary, you know, it's an arbitrary number, like it's an arbitrary date in which the price goes up. But it is, again, designed to get people to commit and come. You know, another example of that was when I was working in my family's business. You know, I created this inventory new inventory system. You can check it out, the Inventory Debacle. If I can figure out how to do it, I'll start linking the cards up in the top right, so you can check out those past episodes. I gotta get on that. It's called The Great Inventory Debacle, was the past episode back in April. Anyway, one of the things that I allowed people to do was to break the rules of what the computer said that they needed to have in their store when it came to how much inventory of what and the numbers and all that they should be stocking. So in order for that to happen, I was like, well, you can, you know, if you have 10 of something in stock and and you feel that you should, and the computer's saying that you should have 0, and you feel you should have a couple because so and so always comes in and buys it, and it's not reflective of how many times you sold it, and blah 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 blah. I'm not willing to argue with you. It's not really for argument. Keep some of them, you know, break the rule of, you know, bend the rule, and keep 1 or 2 of them, but send me 8. You know, give me something back. Give it back so that I can redistribute it and sell it instead of you just sitting on 10 of them. And the other side of it was, well, and we're changing how much you're supposed to stock. So you can always stock more than what you're supposed to stock, but you can't stock 10 when you really only need 1 on the shelf. Because we could sell that one a lot quicker around the other stores instead of buying 8 more or as Dan from Hopeworks says, yes, and if you did keep you know, the old system, if you kept a maximum of 10 in stock, as soon as you sold the one, you would be reordering another one, even though you have 9 on the shelf and only sell it like once every couple of months. Why do you need 10 on the shelf? Just in case? Just in case there's an emergency that comes up and it requires 10 of them at the drop of a hat, when you have no history to show that ever happened? Those types of things. But they could keep, you know, extras on the shelf if they wanted. But I was just saying, hey, you gotta give me more than you gotta send more than just 1 if you got 10. You know, send me 7 of them. Keep 3 of them. Heck, you know, because in a lot of cases these parts were, you know, 80 to 100, 150. It could be like literally thousands of dollars just in one part number sitting on the shelf that we could be redistributing into stores that sell that number rather than just keep buying more for other stores. So yeah, so you can bend the rules, you can break the rules, but there's got to be rules, and you got to set them, and you got to hold people accountable to them, because if you don't hold people accountable to them, you're not doing them any favors. That's something I had to learn, you know, working here at the nonprofit as the web director with the youth interns. It's gotta be held accountable.